Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a hot topic. How important is luck in sales? So just generally, how important is luck in sales? You've got a quote, haven't you?
The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Am I right?
Perfect, yeah. Luck, especially bad luck, is a little bit of a mindset. The way I rationalize it, because you can do everything technically correctly in your sales process. But you know, the candidates we have, they're sometimes unpredictable, right? And you can still get a surprise at the end of the process where the candidate who you think is going to join suddenly says, actually, I'm moving to Australia, I'm not joining. But what you need to rationalize, I think, is that over the course of a year or 2 years, you're going to get a certain number of those situations will happen.
Yeah.
It's almost
Guaranteed.
It's not related to luck, it's just, it will happen.
Yeah.
And I think if you have that mindset, okay, well that's one of them gone for this year. I'm probably going to get another one, another big surprise, but as long as I work really hard and I'm really technically correct, then you control your own destiny, right?
I mean, I think you put it more on the, I would say, the negative side of things, right? Okay, like something bad will happen eventually and you have to prepare for it. I like to see the glass half full, you know. We made 4 placements just this month, and you know, we are in the middle of the month, not even started, of candidates that we sent out 6 months ago. And we found out that our client hired those candidates without realizing that
We'd introduce
them, right? So we're gonna make a significant amount of money from these few placements, and that's a beautiful surprise, you know. That's really motivating actually, because it pushes you to send out more CVs. You know?
Sometimes you will get a bit of luck in terms of one of your clients just takes off, right? And they've got huge hiring needs and it's super hot. But still then, the very best recruiters and salespeople, they maximize that opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So if you do get a bit of luck, it's not just a case of, okay, fantastic. You really deep dive into that and maximize that. So I think that's another thing.
I agree. I think, you know, another common situation in recruitment where it's like, well, it's a 50-50 situation, right? Where you have a candidate at final and the client has another candidate from another agency, right?
Yeah.
So you're in those 50-50 situations, is either your guy or somebody else's guy. The more you put yourself in those situations, you might go through a spell where, you know, like 2 or 3 times in a row, maybe the client choose the other candidate. And that's nothing to do with you. But if you keep on putting yourself in finals in those situations, eventually your luck is gonna turn around and you're actually gonna be on a roll where it's like always 50-50 and you might win those 50-50 chances, right?
Yep. No, I think that's it. It's all about hard work, right?
Yeah.
And putting yourself in those situations.
In those positions.
And the luck will kind of balance it out.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I do believe in though, which is really intangible, is momentum.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's hard to quantify, but we see this in our business. When you're on a roll,
things go your way.
Everything goes your way, right?
I mean, you can clearly tell, you know, if a recruiter has, let's say, lost 2 or 3 offers in a row, the 4th or the 5th offer that they're actually going to try to close, they lose confidence.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
A little bit of a goal scorer that hasn't scored in a while. It would be nervous if a player has to take a penalty and is on the 90th minute.
You start to overthink things.
What should I do? What should I do?
So momentum basically comes from just you're on a roll, you're not overthinking things, you're doing things properly, you're not scared of losing the deal, you're confident of closing the deal. So I think maybe that's something to try and bear in mind as a recruiter. If you are going through a bit of a lean patch and you haven't made a deal in a while, trust the process, trust the technique that you have already, still have that bravado and confidence.
Yeah.
It's difficult to maintain it when you're on a bad run, but I think that's the key, and that's how you get out of those tough runs, is when you are on a roll, you got to ride that wave for as long as you can. So when you're doing great and everything's falling into place, that's the time when you should work the hardest, right?
Absolutely.
Just keep going, that's the time. Don't ease off because you've made 3 placements in a month and you think, okay, I'm awesome now. When you're on a good run, ride the wave, keep working as hard as possible, and
become a top biller.
Become a top biller.
You know, make a lot of money like Wolf does. You know.